The early 2010s were arguably the golden age for mobile gaming, and at the forefront of this era was a franchise that we all remember quite well. Talking Tom and Friends was a family of games produced by Outfit 7, and despite being simple, they changed the mobile gaming space forever, going from a small idea that a regular couple from Slovenia had, to a franchise worth over $1 billion and working with companies like Disney to produce their own shows. With success like this, you've ought to have people copy your work, and that's exactly what happened. This story goes over the most infamous Talking Tom clone with malware, spying, and an international lawsuit. Let's get into it. We all know Outfit 7 released Talking Tom Cat 1 and Talking Tom Cat 2, but they never bothered releasing a third game, at least not in the style of the first two. So in 2012, a Chinese developer known as Nanjing 0000-3D, yeah, pretty interesting name, took it upon themselves to make a Talking Tom Cat 3, or as they called it, this, which roughly translates to Talking Tom Cat 3 in Olympics. For a while, this game was actually lost, with the only proof of its existence being some screenshots and gameplay videos. But in May 10th of last year, an Internet Archive user by the name of Curbs311 actually found the APK file for the game, and they dumped it for everyone to download. Now, normally, I would record some gameplay of the game and use it in the background of the video. But even though the game has been found, I'd rather not install the game on any of my devices, and I recommend that you don't do that either. Around the time of this game's release, a malware campaign was going around called Gooligan. This malware campaign targeted Android devices and it infected over 1 million Google accounts. Years later, in 2022, it was discovered that this game also contained this virus. This means that if you installed the game, it would collect data about your device, install rootkits, steal your Google account and your authentication tokens. It would also install fraudulent apps in the back end of your phone. So while the APK is now out there for you to install, I strongly recommend against downloading it, whether that be on your own device or on an emulator. So the gameplay I'll be using is from a user called Ralph the Mobile Gamer. His link will be in the description, and at first glance, this game shares many similarities with Talking Tom Cat 2. It almost looks like a reskin of the game, but there's enough differences between the two that it looks like the team behind this went through the effort of creating a new 3D model and assets for the game. But other than that, it looks like it takes place in the 2012 Olympics, based on the background, and it's quite a generic knockoff of Talking Tom. We also know of a Talking Tom Cat 4 game by the same people that was in development, but it was never publicly released, and the APK file was never found. But there is actually a gameplay video of the game out there, and it seems like it uses similar assets to Talking Tom Cat 3, so it likely released around the same time, and since he's wearing Christmas clothes, it was probably around the holiday season, so around December of 2013. Now you might be wondering why they never released the fourth game, and the answer is very simple. In 2013, Outfit 7 launched a lawsuit at the developers of Talking Tom Cat 3, with the documents and a lot of information about it being publicly available. The lawsuit was filed on January 4th of 2013, with the plaintiff being Outfit 7 and the defendant being Nanjing 0000-3D. I'm not going to read through the entire document, but I'll go through a few lines. Talking Tom is a program that creates a graphical representation of an anthropomorphic cat who will, for example, upon touching or audio cues, play the symbols or repeat everything you say in a silly voice. Plaintiffs have produced both a Talking Tom program and a Talking Tom 2 program. Talking Friends includes other characters such as Ginger, Angela, both cats, Pierre, a parrot, and Santa, a human, each of whom appears in one or more programs. Defendant has produced the Talking Tom 3 and Talking Tom 4 programs, which also star an anthropomorphic cat. Defendant markets them as part of the Talking family. Plaintiffs allege that by doing so, defendant infringed plaintiffs' trademarks and copyrights. So basically, in simple terms, Nanjing infringed Outfit 7's rights by marketing the game as if they're part of the Talking Friends family, and tricking people into thinking that those games were produced by Outfit 7. Outfit 7 obviously won the lawsuit, and I mean the defendants really screwed themselves over. As you can see here, the plaintiffs have diligently, patiently, and unsuccessfully attempted service through formal international process, but failed because defendant has made it unusually difficult to locate their physical address. Nanjing was operating in a really weird way from the beginning, and they really set themselves up for failure. It was around February of 2014 when Outfit 7 won the lawsuit, and multiple news outlets wrote articles about it. Outfit 7 celebrates legal win against counterfeit app publisher in China. And taking down the Talking Tom thieves, Outfit 7 celebrates legal win against Chinese dev. So these are both articles describing the events of the lawsuit. This lawsuit is special in the fact that it is one of the first ever lawsuits filed against mobile app IP infringement, or basically just mobile game copyright. And after this lawsuit, Nanjing 0000 3D was completely prohibited from manufacturing, distributing, or promoting any counterfeit merchandise bearing the Talking Tom name. And the CEO of Outfit 7 at the time, Samo Login, had this to say: "We've invested heavily in our research and development to ensure our products are market leaders, and as such, we will do whatever it takes to protect our IP. We always have the best interest of our consumers at heart, and their protection against counterfeit products that do not comply with either privacy or health and safety regulations is of paramount importance to us." This situation actually ended up changing the way that major app stores like Google Play and the Apple App Store deal with knockoff games. And while fake games still do exist to this day, I'm sure that if this situation never happened, we'd be seeing mobile game clones at a much wider scale than we do today. So let me know what you think about this whole situation, and how a simple knockoff of a childhood classic ended up having a massive impact on how fake mobile games are dealt with today. If you enjoyed this video, a like and sub would be truly appreciated, and leave a comment with what topic you'd like me to cover next. See ya!